Welcome, everyone. Happy Tuesday. We want Tanya. Thank you, Creepa. That's very cute. I'm so grateful to be here today. And I wanted to just begin with getting everyone to take a few deep breaths. And you can breathe in through your nose, remembering that it's like a Fibonacci, right? It goes in through the nose, up and down and out through the belly. So we should breathing a little more fully into the belly. Let it blow up a little bit. And really pay attention to your breath as you're doing this. Pause at the top for a second. And then pause at the bottom for a second. By doing this, you automatically calm your entire system. The energies are very high right now. Very high. And along with this light pouring in, these upgrades, the solar, the photon belt. And we are light. Breath is light. It's plasma coming into us, air. And so if we can remember that without the air, without nature, we are nothing, right? Everything we eat, drink, and breathe is from nature. So, realizing that being in harmony, no matter what's going on the planet, is the most important thing. To let go of the judgments, to realize that this division is part of the game, that we've all been separated, but we're all connected by source. We're all little particle pieces of source, creation, the divine. Only the divine can birth, right? So only the divine can create. Only a woman with her womb can be a portal for a young soul to come in. There's so many new souls coming in right now. It's so beautiful. And they are the new world. They are here for the new world. They're lined up out there. And as many that are coming in, there's many exiting because they're done here for now. They're finished. And that's okay too. There's no right or wrong or being ahead or being behind. You just be here in the present moment. And that's what the breath can do for you. It can really bring you to this moment and center you. I always tap my chest. You can't quite see what I'm doing here. Tap my chest here to remind me to get out of my head and into my higher heart. What would love do? Remembering that love is not an emotion. Love is a state of being. Love is, even if you don't agree with someone, you can still love them for who they are. And the darkness that we all seem to resent so much is within all of us. We've all had dark timelines. We do have dark timelines. We have had many times because it's required for soul expansion. And so when we hate on something, even if it's the dark and that which we prefer not to have in our lives, it's important to love that too. For if you can love yourself, including the shadow, and fall unconditionally in love with you right where you are, and not to judge yourself and let that subconscious programming that we're rewriting right now control you. You are not your thoughts. They're like the waves in the ocean. They come and they go. And if you sit with it and really feel it, you will know. So even when you're in the highest highs, you can't stay there. Even like a roller coaster, right? You hit that top peak, right? You're going to come down again. You're going to go through a loop. This is part of the process. And so remembering to really enjoy the journey. And I can be the first one to say, I want to be way over there. Let's go. I can see it. I can feel it. But you got to be here now and really enjoy this part of the journey. And today I wanted to invite those of you, we'll do this first. So let's just do a little grounding. You can type, I accept healings. You can give me something specific you'd like me to work on. But everyone's been feeling a little chaotic, a little like, what the fudge is going on in this world right now? And it's like right before you have a breakthrough, it's like the toughest moments, right? And remembering that when you are, oh, hello, Arlene, lovely to see you. When you are expanding and expanding and expanding, when you hit a fear point and you're triggered, that is you expanding and hitting sort of your walls at that point. So I hit that last week, or was that the week before? And I was like, whoa, that's not like me, because fear doesn't live here. Uh, Most of the time, I can bring myself to the present moment and stay here. And today, Carrie's in the background. Thank you, Carrie. You're more than welcome to pop these up on the screen while you're there so people can see. Yeah. And it's quite beautiful that I realize that fear is just, I've hit the edge of an expansion for this point in time. Okay, so let's stop. Let's just rest and quit trying to push it out. Let's go back to our center. Yeah, let's go back to our center, our higher heart. I don't know if you guys can see that. I just got a thumbs up. Sometimes it doesn't show up on the other screens. I didn't have a thumb up. Hello, Donna. Good to see you. Hello, Kreba, Caroline, Arlene. Beautiful. And so I'm just going to bring some beautiful, calming energy in. And it's almost like a really light, fine, misty rain shower. The kind that doesn't make you go running inside, but just stop for a moment and go, oh, that feels really good. For only in this realm can we have these five senses, more actually, because we got our clairs as well. So we're expanding those at this point in time, that we can actually embrace wherever we're at. We can touch things. This is a beautiful stone for protection today. We can taste things and feel things, not just with our emotions, but your skin is your biggest organ and it picks up things before your brain ever does. So when you feel like you get goosebumps right away over something, you know what I'm talking about. And yes, please like the video. Feel free to share it out. And this video is for you guys today. I've not been doing a ton of healings and giving messages, so today I'm here to share what's coming through for me right now. My higher self, there's a few guides around. We have Metatron today. I've been very connected with Metatron. This is Metatron's grid. All through Egypt, I planted crystal grids. There's around my house. I showed a friend where one was over on the island that I actually forgot about until we walked up there. And I was like, oh, yeah, let me show you. So you can always come here and think about me. And it leaves a really good imprint. Plugging crystals into earth is a type of grid work. Ah, hello, Rebecca. Good to see you. Beautiful. I'm grateful you're here. I bet you've been busy. Yeah. Take a few minutes for self. Yeah. And so as this really light mist is coming down on you, its ionics are calming your system. You can drop your shoulders, can relax your face. And it's like being hugged in a way by nature. Really, we have that opportunity. For me, one of my important things is a little bit of sunshine. Not long, 20 minutes, half an hour. Very important for my being, for my energy being. It's a bit of a recharge for me. All right, there's more coming in about the sun. And the sun is a portal. It's how the souls come and go. And I can actually physically see them when I'm sun gazing, either first thing in the morning or at the end of the day. I can physically see energy coming and going. and watching the sky and the clouds and remembering that each of us is unique as our thumbprint, as unique as a tree ring, which are very similar, that each of us have this frequency about us that nobody else has. And that in order to don't try and be somebody else. Stand in your own power. And this is what we do here at Adventures for Connection. We guide you home to you. We want you to be empowered to be more of you. I don't want you to be like me. Don't want you to be like Norma. All of you are to be more like you. Find your gifts. And so as I've gone through this expansion, and my story started with personal development, a good place to start, so to speak, and working with a master coach. And that's when I learned that your words are so powerful, because I kept saying, I'm just so busy. And the reply back was, wow, Tanya, you're such a powerful manifester. Your words are telling your brain what you want, and your brain's just giving you what you're asking for. So it means you can't focus. It means you feel like you're scattered and you don't have enough time, but you are manifesting that with your words. And it was like, ding. I was like, oh, fuck, I'm doing this to myself. Well, I am the common denominator. So you stop playing the victim. And those of you that know me know that I talk about the triangle, where we have the victim, the perpetrator, and the rescuer. And we dance around that in life so well. We blame our parents for how they raised us. But what if that in itself was the greatest gift? Because everything that happened during your childhood is coming up now to shift you into into who you truly are. Hello, Ada, love. Good to see you. So once you start to have this new perspective that you chose this, right? Then it gets easier and easier. And I'm not going to say I don't have moments. Like I said, I hit a little fear point a couple weeks ago, and it was my own expansion hitting a point of stop, bring it back, calm it down. Hello, Sharon. Good to see you. Yeah. So as I was going through this, I'm like, I need to retrain my brain. That was like what I kept getting. I need to retrain my brain. You know, we're all so brainwashed as we're raised from that age 1 until 7, the subconscious programming, which only knows you and only wants to keep you safe, picks up millions of pieces of information per second in your environment and analyzes everything against that. So I went online and I looked up a course. I ended up on Mind Valley with Marissa Peers, and it was about creating your life. So it had meditations in it. It had affirmations. It had like little micro learning. It was quite good. And hello, Andrea. Good to see you. And I went through this program, and then I really went into, because I hadn't done any further education. Let's roll it back a bit. I had bootstrapped my business. Growing up, my dad always said to me, "You're never going to amount to anything." Right? Because I wasn't doing what he thought I should do. And so I moved out at 16. I got myself a job. I stayed in school, but I went to the office and said, "I have to work. I have to pay my rent, so I won't be in school as much. I'm adulting already." And really, I was living at a girlfriend's house. I didn't have to pay rent yet. But I got a job because I really wanted to be in the world. To me, that was part of being free, right? Getting out from under the thumb of your parents and being able to get out into the world and be a little more free. And so I'm going through school, and there was very little in school where I went, "Oh, yeah, that's me." But entrepreneurship was one of those. Yeah. Thank you. Entrepreneurship. We were the pilot high school in all of BC to get entrepreneurship grade 11 and 12. And I went, that's interesting. So that was the one thing. Now they don't have entrepreneurship now. Oh no. They didn't continue. I don't know how the funding was probably pulled, but anyways, I got to go through this, and at the end in grade 12, they flew me to Vancouver to go buy a bunch of sample grad dresses and sell grad dresses because to graduate, you had to have a successful business, and I did. And so that was the beginning of, ah, I I'm responsible for me, right? So it was a bit of a bridge between that. And then of course I went on and for some reason I had a job at the bank for a while. Oh my goodness. My electromagnetic energy and my capacity to sit for long periods of time are not good. In fact, my science teacher came in and he had this look on his face. He's like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" Like, it was just so not me. I did not last long there. I ended up in retail because I had this experience going down and buying, and I ended up in the local ski, bike shop. So, it was skiing stuff in the winter and then bike stuff and casual clothing. Who remembers Chip and Pepper? Chip and Pepper was very big at our store. And so then I was the buyer, the merchandiser, and I worked with these 2 fellows that were quite, the family in town who owned several businesses. So I learned a lot that way. And then, of course, I went, "All right, I gotta get out of this town." I was in Dawson Creek at the time, mile 0 of the Alaska Highway. My dad was doing road construction, and I went from grade 8. Did I go to grade 7? Oh, no, I probably did grade 7 there as well. Grade 7 until graduation. And then I was like, "Okay, I'm out of here." And so I kept asking every sales rep, "Hey, do you know somewhere I can get a job in Vancouver?" And get this little sidebar. So Vancouver's actually in my astrocartography chart, and it's where I was born. So it would make sense that was supposed to be here. Now I'm could care less if I'm still here much longer. But that being said, it makes sense that I wanted to come here and I did get a job. So I moved all my stuff down. I got an apartment. I got a job at Can Ski, which was a big ski shop down on Seymour Street, downtown Vancouver. And 2 weeks after I started, the store burnt down. Aw, thank you, Andrea, appreciate that. 2 weeks after I started, so I went down with my phone my mom, crying my eyes out, telling her what happened. She's like, "Well, what are you gonna do?" And I'm like, "I have my resume, I'm going to look for a job." And I went by the store, and the owner of the store was there, and his name was John Habkirk. And he took one look at me and said, "You're not going anywhere. We're keeping you because of my work ethic." Because, like most of you, or maybe some of you, I felt valued when I when others approved of me. I felt valued when others approved of me. And so there we go. That is part of the programming, right? And so I did. I went into this business all out. And so I got moved to West Vancouver and commuted for a bit. And then I got moved up to Whistler. I barely knew how to ski, let alone anything else. And so it was quite interesting, but I went with the job. And so that's what you do when you don't have money. You're like, "I'm getting money here, so I'm just gonna stay here." And so I went to Whistler and I worked for Kansky in Whistler at the base of Blackcomb, and Blackcomb had really just opened. And so not only that, I had to get another job because you can't survive in Whistler on one job. So I ended up doing working in a pub as well. And so that being said, I spent a few years in Whistler doing that until they asked me because I was managing at that point and buyer. I wasn't the buyer, but I was managing and merchandising and doing all of that. And I was good at it. I liked working with color. I liked working with people. And I always had good communication. Graham Turner. Yeah. Graham Turner owns Showcase Snowboards. Oh my goodness, so good to see you on here. And yeah, he's still, I believe he's in Pemberton now, so beautiful. A little blast from the past. And eventually Whistler can be, you either love it or eventually I wanted to be back in Vancouver because it was never my mission to go live in Whistler. And I did learn how to snowboard there. And I did spend many, many years visiting Whistler, and I still go up to Whistler and I still get runs in. And I can tell you, Graham, if I just went heli for a few days every year, I'd be a happy camper. So you kind of get to a point where you feel a little spoiled. So I did have many years. So I actually moved down to Vancouver and worked for Pacific Border down on West 4th and Burrard, and was the manager, merchandiser, and buyer. Spent $1 million a year shopping and spent 7 years there. So as many of you know, often there's a 7-year cycle in life, whether that's a relationship or it's work or it's personal, but your entire body regenerates in 7 years. So eventually it becomes a bit more of a challenge. And so I did end up creating a retail consulting company after I left Pacific Border. And retail wears you out. Honestly, retail wears you out because you're giving a lot. Yeah. Yes, like ski and snowboard mountain whistler. Yes. Yes, it's definitely it's changed a lot because Vail owns it now. So, and I've been up there mountain biking as well. So I still play up there. I kind of get in and get out, get in and get out. I have no desire to live there again. Um, and as we went through this, and I created a retail consulting company, and I went, you know what? No, I'm just done with retail. And I went and got a job prepping for a painting company because I really enjoyed the color. I really enjoyed the service industry, and I was always good at painting. I don't even know how I learned. It was just something I know how to do. It's one of those. And I got into that and went, holy cow, I can't believe how trades are in people's homes. Wow. This is very interesting. And so I did good work, and more good work came. And so I bootstrapped it. I bootstrapped the business from the ground up and had Jade at the same time. So, had a good friend that we were working together, and I ended up, you know, getting pregnant on the pill. And there you go. There's a Jade. And I'm so grateful for Jade. The relationship I have with my daughter is like, it just makes my heart glow. She's really struggled the last few years, and she's really blossoming at the moment. And I'm so honored to be able to be there. Yeah. I agree with that now. But retail can be, it's that being of service and being so busy, right? There's always something to do. There's always something going on. I could not sit behind a desk. You've got to be kidding me. No. My limit sitting in front of a desk is about an hour, and then I'm done. I need to move. My body's like, okay, we're moving now. And so as I went through this process and bootstrapped this up, I got it built up to a point where it was like, I can't operate the way I'm operating anymore. What the system I had created no longer worked, which is why I ended up with the coach, which is how I ended up in personal development, which is how I went, oh my gosh, I haven't done any further education. I graduated high school, that was it. And then I went to the School of Life, which I think is a great school, by the way, because whether or not something is negative or positive, it is still an education point. And I can tell you those mistakes, you don't make them more than once, because those are huge learning points. And so when working with this coach and streamlining the business, and then getting into my spare time, learning the personal development with Mind Valley, I really, really, really got to have a new perspective. Now, I still not fully aware of all of it, and certainly not of the soul at that point. And so this is started coaching in 2014. So I'm in 2015, 2016, probably about 2016, I tapped into the Mind Valley and played in there, and then went down to an event, became a Mind Valley Master Certified Trainer. I'm good at speaking because I've been speaking my entire life to people in sales and right, and diffusing situations and getting through things. And so I was very natural at it and enjoyed it until, at a point when I'm just so independent, and I couldn't follow the system they wanted me to follow because they were implementing more rules, and I'm too independent. I've been independent my entire life. Since 16, when I moved out, I've been like famous, so ferociously independent. And yeah, school life is the best school. Yeah. And I love Mind Valley too. Mind Valley is beautiful for what it does. Absolutely. And if you know about the hero's journey, which is going through the circle of life, is basically what we all do. And it's to remember who we truly are. And so people get up on stage and they share their hero's journey. And then, whatever they're selling is sold, right? Whatever course or program, which is great. But it's not so much about the individuality, it's definitely about the tools, but definitely some similarities going on. And so those of you that want some healing, start dropping in what you'd like me to work on today. I would really love to just energetically call that in right now and start playing with that. But as I went through this, and I would say I had a reading done probably about, must be 5 years ago now, by a woman, Dana, that my good friend introduced me to. And she said, absolutely beautiful. This woman, Dana Callie, who's local here but does online readings, she said to me, "Oh, this isn't a normal reading." And I'm like, "What does that mean? Like, I don't know." And so she said, "Ah, that I would create around the globe stars that connect." And I still don't fully know what that means. I've energetically done it with the grid. I've definitely done some grid work now, but it really made me realize, especially when she tapped into not one, not two, but 3 points in my childhood where things shut me down. She goes, "Oh, at this age, something traumatic happened and you deemed the world not a safe place." And I went, "Oh yeah, I know what that is." Right? And then a second point, and then a third point, and then really told me what was going on for me. And I was like, yeah, that would be me. Because in order to run the way I was running, in order to shut down at the end of the day, it would always be a glass of wine or a beer. Right? So, and we know how that can snowball sometimes. So I definitely went through some of that throughout my life because I just never felt like I fit in anyway. And I'm really good at, right? I'm really good at that too. I'm good at everything I do. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it whole hog. So with this running myself ragged, adrenal fatigue kicks in. Okay, thank you, Andrea. Perfect. Adrenal fatigue kicks in. And with adrenal fatigue, if any, you know, you're exhausted. Your fight or flight from the world not being safe. And me, in order to survive, if somebody targeted me, I would get angry because that was my defense mechanism. Can you believe it? I was angry. Those of you that know me now, it's like it's pretty hard to actually get me angry. No, for the right reasons, absolutely. But otherwise, it's a waste of my energy. And I don't want to waste my energy. And I have a different perspective now. And so getting all these tools and realizing after having this reading that we're all souls having this human experience, and then on from there. And I definitely worked with quite a few people over the years who gave me different pieces. But you hit a point where you're like, that's a really nice story, but I need to know for me. I need to know wholeheartedly it's me, which then leads you more inward. And so getting some tools like taking the quantum or taking the Reiki and having these tools are very helpful. But don't grab them like that's it, that's fact. Because if you leave yourself open enough, and this is what this has been, is a peeling of the onion, as you all know, and finding out what resonates. Now, I've been told for a long time I'm a healer. People always loved hanging out with me, and people recognize me from 10 years ago across a room or in a crowded place. They're like, "Tanya, I heard your voice," because my frequency is a specific way. And so this is part of my healing. Actually, your frequency is also very healing for you. Your name has a frequency which is healing for you. You're all have this amazing ability to self regulate, self heal. And that is what I would like everyone to know. Yeah. Thank you, Caroline. Yeah, absolutely. And so I've come to the space and place, and I'm sure it'll grow from here. But I really honor all of you and want you to know deeply that the more you trust yourself, the more you can be quiet and listen to that little inner voice that is here to guide you. to those little signs and those thoughts that are so quiet that you're like, did I just think that? Was that me? It's you. It's your intuition. It's your higher self. It's part of your soul. And it can guide you. It will never steal you wrong. This is why the dosing. This is why the body dosing. And I do have my rod here if anyone wants any of that. And it's not to say frequency tools aren't good and, certain healing modalities, they're all good. Just don't limit yourself because the magic that can come in just from asking for it. I'm just going to take a moment here and we're just going to drop in and bring in. There we go. Activate. And just go to where you have any tightness, aches, bruising, pain in your body. Absolutely, Caroline. Hello, Eddie. Good to see you. I'm doing some more healing, love. Eddie's over in Australia. So is Rebecca. I get the global. Maybe this is the stars, right, guys? Yeah. And as this energy comes down through me and comes through my heart space and then my arms, I'm simply amplifying it and I'm sending it to you. It's very calming, it's very gentle, and my soul is showing your soul, your body, what it feels like to be in a healthy vibration, alignment. Good vibrations. Yeah, you all have this ability. My hands are super hot. It's fascinating. I'm on the top of my crown. So this is what happens for me as this comes in. There's pressure on the top of my crown. My hands get super hot. My feet even tingle. And it's not coming from me, it's coming through me. I'm a conduit. It's one of my gifts. I'm super grounded, but still connected above. We chose to come into this planet and be on this earth at this time, or any time we've come in, to have this experience. And so many people in this time and space are spending a lot of time meditating, wanting to move up, but you want to be plugged in to the ground and open at the crown so you can have both. For we get to fly after this anyway, right? When our consciousness leaves this earth, when this avatar is done and it's our time, we're back to not having this body. So we want to enjoy the journey, enjoy this process. And even when it's really tough, that's when we have the biggest soul growth. Yeah. I've actually, yeah. You're welcome, Graham. And remembering that what we consume, we become. And as your subconscious is picking up those millions of bits of information per second, it doesn't know if it's a movie or if it's perceiving it in your reality per se, or if it's your imagination. And so I'm very conscious about what I'll consume. I don't watch any news. I'll check for posts, but I won't watch videos. I'm aware of what's going on, but I am not absorbing it. I'm not in it. I'm not expecting it. Because look at it this way, if everything we need is inside of us, and we have this type of power that we don't even realize that we're manifesting with every word, every action, every thought, then we need to be really conscious about what we're thinking. But what creates those thoughts? What you're consuming. So, I happened to watch the movie Tarot, confession time from Tanya. I watched the movie Tarot because Jade really wanted to watch it, my daughter. And she's 18 and a half, and I can't deny my child these things sometimes. And so she's like, "Really? You'll watch it?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And so I watched it, but I watched it from a really observer point of view. So you're not the one thinking, you're not the one speaking, you're the one observing that. Remember that? And I was actually laughing about it. I'm like, "Well, that was the dumbest move ever." And so I had the ability to observe it, whereas before we'd watched something else that was, a little bit, too fast paced for me before bed, and I had crazy dreams. So I'm very, 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 very conscious of that. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Eddie says, "I've accepted that my inner self is most important." Beautiful. Beautiful. I love that's what I wanna give you, tools to fill up your toolbox. Thank you, Andrea. Yeah. Tools to fill up your toolbox. You may feel a little warm, you may feel a little tingly, you may have a little gurgling in your stomach. And I know that this is very relaxing for you. You can come back to this video anytime. There's also meditations on YouTube. In our membership, we've got all kinds of meditations that aren't anywhere else. And for $33 a month, you can join. We do weekly group calls, weekly healing sessions, really specific for those in the group, and as well as the meditations. There's a ton of videos in there and lots of PDF books on topics that are relevant to your growth, your expansion. Absolutely. Hello, Norma Stein. Yeah, just let all that roll off you because if you made a date with worry on Friday afternoon and wrote down everything that was on your mind, and I do recommend doing this at night to write everything that's on your mind to get it out of your chest so that you can sleep better. And then ask for what you would like to do that night in your travels, right? Or dream about, or ask a question, or think about a challenge you're having and say, please give me a solution tonight. Drink that half a glass of water with that intention and drink the rest in the morning. Absolutely, Rebecca, whenever you're ready, love. Yes, Andrew's been to many of the meditations. Absolutely. And so then I've just started to create a library of them as they come through. I'm just going to remove that worry because we don't need that anymore. And sometimes when I have a thought, I just flick it away. I don't like that thought. No, thank you. We're not thinking that. And so I actually did also take, so I've done, here's my school life stuff, right? Beautiful. Uh, I went to, took a program called um, Freedom from Self-Sabotage. And I took the program and I really liked it. And he's got some very good information, but he's still playing on the fear of the government's doing this. This is happening. And remember, that is all external and out of your control. And because that's out of your control, one should not give their attention to it. Mm, mm. Yeah, make sure you're really conscious of your breath. Yeah, merely conscious. Yeah. No, I'm just extracting worries. And we're just going to drop that stress. It doesn't need to be there. So remembering that in every moment of every time that everything, if you can't hear me, that's on your end because I'm hooked up. You're on your external cannot, you can't control it. So if you can't control it, what can you control? What can you do? You can control your reaction. You can control what you consume digitally and through your mouth. And then you can control what you can and do what makes you feel good and brings you joy and releases energy. For me, things like the mountain biking, I do more hiking now. Even up to last year, I was mountain biking up at Whistler, but this year I'm planning on traveling more. So we're shedding things. And as I cannot control that external world, what I can control my reaction to it. And so in life, if we can um, wait and not react, but wait and respond to people, places, and things, you'll find it highly beneficial. And so, what I've come to learn and what I believe to be true, because that's all I can give as my perspective, is that we're on this beautiful neutrality path and you go up and down on that one wave, right? And yes, sometimes you get triggered, right? Sometimes you go super high and you're having a blast, or sometimes you feel a little low. That is normal and required. It's part of being human. But as much as you can to be in, let's call it neutrality, that things don't trigger you as much, that you have a new perspective, because if we're all interconnected and we're all little pieces of source, then when we go back, if you go watch a bunch of near death experiences, if you go back to a bunch of near death experiences and watch those, you will see it's a very similar story. Now, everyone's going to have an individual story or experience that goes on, but that you go back to unconditional love. And just because we can't perceive it with these eyes, when my cat passed away, I could feel it. I'm like, oh, it's beautiful. And he's still kicking around here. He's still kicking around. So your pets, your family, lost friends. Just trying to see if I can bring somebody in, but I'm not going to try that right now. Lost friends. They're all close by. Chat with my dad all the time. I have been to Georgia, Andrea. And we'll see. We'll see what the future holds. Yeah, right now it's I'm sitting tight, recreating and creating some things and building some new stuff and getting ready. So I have a feeling yes, YouTube name is the same. Absolutely. Adventures for Connection. Or you can just look up my name and because my name is spelled with Tanja, I have a unique name, and therefore one can always find me. I have lots of people blast from the past because I just got a unique name and it works really well. Hello, Leanne. How are you? Good to see you. Okay. Yeah, many of you may be experiencing specific achy joints. Yeah, I'm supposed to tell you about parasites too. Most disease is caused by parasites. There's good parasites and bad parasites. And so there's good parasites that are helpful to our system. We could survive without them. But there's also bad parasites. And those bad parasites, highly recommend things like parasite cleanse. So getting into your highest vibration, one wants to cleanse the system. And a lot of this happens at middle age, autoimmunes, more aches and pains. It's always chalked up to, oh, you're just getting older. Oh, you need this medication now. Oh, you need that medication now. Once you're in the system, you don't get out. It's not a healing system. It's not a health care system. No, it's a corporation. It's about making money. Look at the way the doctors are being set up to, limit their time and appointments. The hospitals are really backed up, or you can't go into a walk-in clinic anymore without an appointment. Like that, it's not working the way it is. I'm still doing healing, just so you know, just a little lower with it. And so to remember that too, and frequencies, your frequency is very healing for you. You can run through the vowels. You can do Om 21 times because that actually recalibrates your system. There's a reason that Om is an ancient and well used. There's, and as I said, I've even done, oh, that one's not in the library yet. Let me get that one in the library. I have Om 21 times that I did a custom one for someone, and that's what I was recommended to do. And I am not this body, I am not this mind. You're so much more. So there's very profound ways of reprogramming your subconscious. The best way I've found when I'm working with people is to give them a meditation. Yeah, I bet your right leg's on fire. I've been working on this one. Is to give them a custom meditation. So we have a bit of a meeting. I believe one needs to speak to the mind as well as the body. So here's what happened. I did Reiki and I started doing energy healing. People felt great for a week and then came back and I'm like, what? No, 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 no. That's not what I want. I don't want to do that. I don't want a revolving door. I don't want to be like the system that I'm stepping away from. I want people to feel healthy, healed, and whole longer. And so now it's an evolution. So talk to the mind, give them some practical things to do because the mind understands that, do some healing, and give them a custom meditation to listen to for 21 days, up to 30, and then book a new session. And then we up level from there. We up level from there. It's the same thing we're working on in the groups. We're really meeting people where they're at. One of the most important human things needs is to be heard, to feel connected. And so many people just listen to respond. They're not listening to hear, not listening from here. They're listening from here to respond or to resolve. You don't need to fix it. You just need to hear it. Because when you hear it out loud, you hear it differently personally. And when you hear it differently and you feel heard, and that person says, oh, I'm so sorry you're going through that, for example, what I'm hearing you say is this, right? So you're giving that communication back to them to let them know, I hear you, I see you. And in that moment, there is a heart-to-heart connection. Your hearts are connecting. It is so healing to be heard. So healing to be heard. Oh, get back to the beach, dude. Absolutely. You know why, too? It's grounding in the sand. Or like you bare feet if you can. The sounds of the waves are very healing. It's like drifting, right? Because you're not so focused on doing a task. You're just being in a beautiful space on the beach and walking in the sand and listening to the waves. I call that drifting. You're drifting along. And it's like a reset point. Yes, please. Yeah. Absolutely, because when you hit that sand, it's like crystals, right? With the bare feet. And what are you? You're electromagnetic. And then you go and you ground in, but you're also charging at the same time. So, yeah. Oh, good, Leanne. Yeah, beach breaks are the best. I love going to the beach. Now, again, not for long. I don't go spend all day there. And sometimes I don't fully swim because it's a little cool, but I definitely will get my feet in there and I love to put my hands in and talk to the water because we're 70% water. We had this conversation the other day. So we are all bits, and we're actually moving from earth and water into fire and air. So you're feeling that fire coming in right now. It's activating. It's alchemy. Yeah, I bet you miss the beaches, Terry. Even, remember we were just saying our mind doesn't know the difference? So you could go plug into a sandbox and sit there and watch a little screen. Not saying it would be the same, but it's a good way to watch those beaches and to watch waves and to watch those calming. I watch nature shows all the time because I really like them. Yeah. So, absolutely, very important. Yes, the doggies do love it because it's grounding for them and they know you feel better. Yeah. Cindy, you've never seen the ocean? Yes, you need to for sure, love. I'm so blessed to be here. Like, I'm so grateful. I've landed in this spot. I've been here for 18 years. There's a pool in the middle that wasn't open last year because they were saying it wasn't up to code, but we got it grandfathered in. So it's open this year. It has very little chlorine, which is great. That's good. The healing, sweating out toxins. Awesome. Thank you for the feedback. And the beach is a 10-minute drive away. I can see the ocean from my house. So this has been a really blessed area for me to raise a child. There's a creek outside here. The forest is 5 minutes up the way. So when we landed in this spot, in this space. I'm super blessed. Super blessed. Yeah, I can't complain at all, although it's getting busier and busier and busier. All of Vancouver is. That's just the way it goes. You know, it's the very, very best place to be in the summer. It's so beautiful. Spring, right? Fall, and then that winter rain sets in and you get hammered because we're in a rainforest. And yeah, it can be a little hard to take sometimes. Yeah. Caroline, you have a beautiful property. I've seen your photos. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up at 5:55, you guys. Do a little number action. Remember too, numbers have frequency. Alaska's beautiful. Yeah, and Canada's beautiful. Absolutely. Yeah. You know, I believe in the future we will all travel all over the world. And here's a little energy cleaning trick for you. Cross, 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 and wash your hands. You should be good, Andrea, in about 5 minutes. It'll cool off. So when you're more connected with someone, so Andrea and I have done a little work. When you're connected more, it affects them greater. Because it's like, oh, my energy knows this energy and it can take on more of the healing and energies. So I believe in the future that we will all be able to travel as we choose. Now, not all of us choose that. Some of us choose to really ground in. Ah, yes, I know where you live. Okay, so if I end up down in Phoenix, everyone will know. Don't worry. When this trip is time, it's time. I believe many will ground in and they're meant to hold space and have land, right? We all want different things. That's what's so beautiful about all of us. We all want the same thing. We'd all be trying to do the same thing. I know my mission is to travel and to show another way to live and to create properties around the world that are self-sustaining and very healing for people to come and unplug and really get back into being in tune with nature. For when we're in tune with nature, we are more grounded. We are more loved. Thank you, Andrea. Love you too. We are more we're just calmer, we're at peace. We were never meant to be running around in running shoes. Remember, moccasins kept us connected. And so spending that time every day I get in bare feet, every single day. It is just part, even if it's raining out, I need to do that for myself. I owe myself that. And I run my chakras every day. I do my own energy, like run throughs. And as soon as I'm out of tune, and I can tell because I'm like, it's like that sticky point where it's like, I'm a little out. I go and, correct it. So putting the tools in your toolbox, and this is what I want to give you all. Thank you, Caroline. Yeah. All right, you guys. Sending much love. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful night. And remember, I'm on tomorrow with Soulful Alchemy, and I have Tamara on, and we're going to do a reading on Canada and the US for astrology. So check that out. I love you.